when you're assigning student work, don't forget to think about what you normally give your students in regard to activities. And just because you're doing it remotely doesn't mean that you can't provide your students with some support with might be, say, paper or pencil, taking photos of worksheets or blackline masters or graphic organizers or doing different things like that. So if you were doing, say, let's just say once again, you were doing a writing task and you had a checklist, and I'll just put, don't forget to check the elements, the key parts of a narrative. So if you're allowing your students to write a narrative piece, for example, and you do your instructions and you do your video and all that sort of stuff, that's great. But it doesn't mean that here you can't do up a little engaging kind of activity that shows different aspects of a narrative. So if I do a little checklist up here, top left-hand corner, don't forget this is the student response page. So the students will be typing or saying their story here. We could put a little checklist at the top here. Make that a little bit bigger so that you can see. And we might put a little, and by the way, you might think, oh, this is a little bit of work doing this, but once you've done one, you can reuse those. We might put that as being purple, pink. And we could create a little checklist here where once the students have actually done the different things, so first one could be orientation. And that was my first checklist. So when the students are actually typing their story on the side here, they can actually get their pen tool and say, yep, I actually have done that. Maybe a different color would be better. I actually have done that part. And so it gets them self-reflecting a little bit more instead of just doing the activity, handing it straight in and off I go. I've done that now. It's a great way of actually submitting those different things going forward. And so providing a Venn diagram or a graphic organizer or just, and it doesn't have to be created in here. You could actually have a picture that you're actually drawing in. So let's just say I had those SeeSaw shortcuts here. I could drag that in there and say, oh, this is actually how, if we pretended that was a checklist of something, we could actually have that in our page just by dragging an image. If you've got a PDF, you could just take a quick screenshot of that PDF and have it sitting in the top right-hand corner. And what that does is just provide a little bit of structure or reference points for the activities that are actually going forward. Okay, so I'm just going to assign that activity to my students. I'll just save it. And you can see there that's sitting there ready to be assigned, and I will assign it to my students going forward.